just monetizing, whether you're just, or you're partnered, or you're part of YouTube Red, the bigger the target you become. The bigger the target. Now, I will admit that sometimes when you add extra fuel to the fire by hold on. Now, like I said, like I was saying, you know, there might be times where you're just monetizing and you're thinking, okay, I'll put the, like Jawbreaker, he was going to put a video, he put a video up thinking innocently that there was going to probably be no harm, no foul, yet there was. Here's the thing, if you put what many might feel is risky, and especially if you're monetizing, you're going to get immediate attention, there's no doubt about it. But even if you do that and you're not monetizing, yeah, you'll still get attention, you'll still get the attention of YouTube and Google, and they might ask you to take the video down and It might copyright strike you with a limitation of 15 minutes of video for the next 5 months. But the thing is, the action, like I mentioned earlier, will take a little longer, maybe not as long, but just a little longer to happen and take place than it is if you were monetizing. So, what I'm trying to say here, and I do apologize if this goes into 2 parts, even if the second part is a little shorter. What I'm saying here is you can monetize if you want to. You can be part of YouTube Red if you want to be. You can partner with somebody. That's your choice. That's your choice. But my advice is take an example of what Rowdy C, Chris Moore of Rowdy's Reviews, Logan Rungbar of Huey Toonmore, aka Huey Toonmore of Huey's Animated Reviews, take a page out of their book. Do a little trailer, maybe 30-second, minute-long trailer of what your review is going to be or what your video is going to be. Provide the link of where they can find said video so that at least they can see it without you suffering a huge amount of damage. Well, not you, I should say, but without them, I should say, and even you, because who knows how it plays out sometimes, but them won't suffer as huge amount of damage. You'll still be able to see the video, even at a different site, and they, in a sense, will still make revenue. That's about it. And again, like I said, it might cause you damage as well because there are, let's face it, any video streaming service does pick up on who's watching what video. We know that. So it could cause damage to you. I'm not saying it has or it will, but there's a possibility it could in the future. I haven't noticed any damage to the viewer, so who knows. But anyway, point is folks, that the point is, if you have something you want people to watch, but you still want to make money, but you know ad revenues, this whole new policy of ad and this whole censorship deal, if you will, happening could affect you. Again, take a page out of Rowdy C, take a page out of Huey Toonmore. Do a little trailer, maybe tell them what to expect, provide the link to where they could find it, go from there. And I guarantee you, you'll still make money, but it won't be, but it may not be as much as you would hope for a full-length video, but still it would be significant enough to where you won't have to worry about any copyright claims or any ad revenue people coming after you because they don't agree with what you say, or any censorship coming your way because it violates some of the new policy. The point is, folks, it all depends, in my opinion, of what level you're on. If you're non-monetizing, yeah, you're still a bit of a target, but the immediate action doesn't happen almost overnight. Sometimes it takes a little while longer because you're lower on the radar. You're very low on the pedestal. If you're monetizing, you get a little higher on that pedestal. You get your target, you get noticed a little bit more because YouTube and Google have to send you and write you out or deposit you that money that you've earned. You get to that second level on the pedestal, and you get more noticeable because on that level you get partnered with somebody, and not only do you get revenue for you, and not only do they get the revenue for themselves, but you share that revenue. So that makes you an even bigger target, and it makes things worse for you. And then you get, like I said, the whole YouTube Red deal, and then that's when things really get out of hand, because now it's like you got to be careful of what you tread on, what you say, and what you do. You know, a lot of us depend, not myself, but everybody else depends on YouTube in some shape or form for financial support. So for the censorship to happen, it hurts us, but it also hurts YouTube. Because even those that don't monetize, you know, might be considering it, but now that with YouTube bringing out this whole censorship deal, it makes us not want to monetize. It makes us not want to become partners. It makes us not want to even think about being part of YouTube Red. It makes us just want to stand back, be regular uploaders of videos, and that's it. You know, we don't want to monetize. We don't want to chance the fact that we could get targeted, we could get hurt. You know, we don't want to deal with this. And what's going to happen in the long run is YouTube is going to become it's like Alpha Omega Sin said. YouTube is going to become a shell of its former self. And another site, an all new, from the grounds up, video streaming service, similar to what YouTube used to be and sort of is now, will pop up, give fans, give video uploaders, users what they want, what they crave, but also play it smart, like, okay, we're going to be what YouTube used to be and what they are now in a sense, but we're going to play it safe. That's going to happen. That's going to happen. But let me explain why YouTube will become, let me explain. So what I'm trying to say is YouTube and Google have to clean up their act very soon. They have to reconsider some of the ideas they have done, some of the decisions they have made, and some of the potential ideas and decisions they're going to make. They have to reconsider it and think, okay, maybe that's not the best direction to go, or maybe this wasn't the best direction to have gone, so we need to fix something. And I guarantee you, YouTube and Google, if they do that, people will stop getting on their cases, and maybe they'll start realizing, all right, maybe it's not as bad as we think to let people say or do these kind of things. Because you know, the reason YouTube is going through this, the reason YouTube has gone through these significant changes, the reason Google bought them out, or they let themselves get bought out by Google. Here's why. YouTube was and is still in a sense, for some of us, a video streaming website that allowed us to upload videos where we get to speak our minds, where we got to showcase things that we love to do. Whether we love collecting Transformers like Octobotamus and myself and Bulk Matrix and reviewing them and giving you the idea whether or not you want to purchase it. Whether we're people like Linkara, Louis Lundberg, and we do a video website, we do a video series on there that we want to share with you, so you can either decide to get that comic or not. you know, or we're just people that like to come on here and vlog and speak our minds of how we feel about certain things, like the presidential debate or the presidential election this year. The thing is, YouTube was, and still in some sense, is a place where we get to do that. But the only reason it has changed so much throughout its history, throughout its 10+ year history, is because there is a lot of outside groups. I'm not naming which ones, but there are a lot of outside groups that are afraid of sites like YouTube. They are afraid of sites like Vessel. They are afraid of sites like MetaCafe, Screenwave, Dailymotion, VO, and Vimeo, and so on. They are afraid of these sites because they know, heck, there are people that are afraid of freaking Facebook and Twitter. Because they know people will come out here and speak their minds and not speak the truth about what's going on, and they don't want to hear it. That's why you have all these corporations either partnering up with YouTube and Google with certain stipulations as a part of that agreement, of that partnership, and while you have certain other outside forces still wanting to take YouTube down, brick by brick, user by user, copyright by copyright, because they can't stand it. I mean, I'm thankful there are companies out there, production studios and all that, that at least recognize, hey, there's no harm, no foul. All we'll do is just put it at an ocean, a little link, if you will, for people to click on to probably purchase said song or said video where said clip is from, or where said song is being used from. At least they have the acknowledgement to do that, but still there are those that don't. And why? Because there are those that are still stuck in the old way of thinking. And that old way is, must not do that, no. And they don't get it. They don't get it. And they need to get it. That's why YouTube has drastically changed, whether we like it or we don't. Whether we agree with this new policy and censorship, this new policy that they brought out that caused this whole YouTube censorship. Whether we agree with it or we don't. It's because of these outside forces that are still trying to take YouTube down, still trying to take video streaming services like it down, because they don't like the fact that people come out here and speak their minds, sometimes even make a living off speaking their minds, and they can't stand it, which is why you have all these drastic changes that YouTube is going through, courtesy of Google. Do you think those at Google and those in charge of the YouTube division at Google, or the subsidiary area of YouTube at Google, do you think they're happy they have to do this? Probably not. But they know if they don't, YouTube could become a shell of its former self if it's not ceased to exist, period. And that's the whole point. That's the whole reasoning why this is happening. This is why YouTube did the YouTube Red subscription service. This is why they're doing YouTube Music, YouTube Kids. It is to appease those outside forces and saying, hey, look, we're not totally like we used to be anymore. We're just like what you want. And this pisses a lot of people off to no ends. This is why you have a lot of people sticking with Dailymotion, going to Vessel, going to all these other sites, because they know there's a chance that at least there's one or two of them that's not going to be as restricted or not, bent over backwards to get people off their back. It's going to allow them to be and do what they want. And that's why, folks, that's why when you look at it from a 4-level deal, a 4-tier deal, if you will, why in my opinion it's easier not to monetize. Because if you monetize, yeah, you get a target, and if you're just making money, that's fine. You'll have action taken against you, but it won't be as immediate if you were part of YouTube Red. Because YouTube Red is almost instant, immediate action. Partnerships made doing this, well, both sides make some financial gain. It's not as instant, but it's probably within 48, 72 hours. Monetizing probably within 72 if not a week. 72 hours if not a week. Non-monetizing probably within a week if not a month. That's why I believe it's best not to monetize. That's why I believe you should take a page out of people like Chris Moore and Huey Toon Moore. And that is put up a trailer, if you're monetizing, whatever, say, basically point to where people can watch that video without having to worry about whether or not it might be blocked and they can't watch it or whatever, or even you don't have to worry. And in that way, go to something like Vessel, go to something like Daily Motion, go to someone like VO or Vimo, and I guarantee you, you'll still make financial gain. May not be as significant as what YouTube does and Google does for you, but still it's something. It's something. And the only reason, like I mentioned, why people stick with YouTube is because it's more globally well known than any other video site out there. You can, like I said, you can ask the person that's not on the internet that much, do they know what YouTube is? They'll immediately tell you what it is. If you ask them what the other video sites are, they won't even know maybe what those are. So, my point is this. The higher the pedestal, the higher you are being a target for censorship in this new policy. The lower, the better. The safer you might be, but you're not out of the woods, but it might not be as immediate, but action may not be as immediately taken on you as almost instantly if you're higher on that pedestal. Because the higher you go, the faster the immediate action of censorship of this new policy comes into play. The lower, the better, the safer, but not totally out of the woods you are. So that's all I'm going to say in this reply to the video I did. I know it's 2 parts, so I do apologize. It's not 3 parts. Yeah, it's about 3 parts, so I do apologize, folks. But let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I'm out.